Okay. They don't be quiet. They better be quiet. We have to have them be quiet. But everybody's here? If you're not here, let me hear from you.
I'm not here.
Okay. All righty. Well, I think some of you, I'm sorry, but I am 308 years old right now, so my voice may be a little bit weak, so we're going to have to be really quiet if you want to hear what's out, even if you don't want to hear what I'm going to say. So, who do you think I am? How did you know that? Okay, well, I have some things. Oops. Well, no, that's okay. You know, when you get to be this age, you always have some backups with you. It's always a good thing to do. I'm really glad to be back here this year. Just like last year, you know, being 308 years old, the heat really bothers me. So I really appreciate this modern day convenience of cargo shorts and stuff. I still like some of my old clothing. You know, it gets to be more difficult for me to travel every year, but this year it was really great. I just had a birthday party, my 308th birthday, back in January. Thank you very much. You can't. Thank you. You can't. Nope. You got to stop a minute. You can't believe how, with all the great grandkids that I have, you wouldn't believe how many presents I got for my birthday. It was just amazing. Unfortunately, most of those presents were kites. Everybody gave me a kite. I don't understand why. It's just awful. Okay, I want to know how many people here are 9 years old. Aha! Did you know that right after I signed the Declaration of Independence, I went over to France. And I went over there so that we could ask the French to help us out in the Revolutionary War against the British. And I was there for 9 years before I came back. Well, while I was there, I did a lot of different things. One of the really interesting things that happened to me was that I got involved in something that is important to us today, too. And that is, believe it or not, energy conservation. And let me tell you what happened that got me involved in that. One night I came home when I was in Paris, and Paris had about 100,000 people in it at the time. It was a big city. Right now, in Colorado Springs, we have about 3 times that. We have about 300,000 people here. So you can see how back then, 200 something years ago, big cities weren't very big compared to our cities now. But at any rate, so I came home late one night and I had to go around and light all the candles up so I could see what was going on. And I got to thinking, my goodness, which is a good thing. I got to thinking, my goodness, how many candles do we burn every night? And if I burn that many candles, how many people do all the people in Paris burn? And then the worst part about it all was I got to bed really late. It was after midnight. And then what do you know? First thing in the morning, someone comes in and throws the curtains up. And it's bright outside. And it's only 6 o'clock. And it woke me up. And that was just awful. I barely got any sleep. But I said, we got to do something about this. So here's what I did. How many of you know what a letter to the editor is? There you go. Can you tell me?
Letter to the editor is when someone writes a letter to the editor.
Yes, indeed. Yep, this is a chance that every one of us has to say something in the newspapers to let other people know what we're thinking. So I wrote a letter to the editor. And here's what I said. I said, let's do some mathematics. And this is why mathematics are important. I said, I burned about 7 hours worth of candles that night. And for 6 months out of the year, we have to burn about 7 hours worth of candles every night. And there are 100,000 people in Paris burning candles. Just think about how bad that is. So I did some mathematics. And let me see if I can remember what they are. Okay, each person for 6 months out of the year, burning 7 hours of candles every night, burns 1,281 hours worth of candles. Now, if we take that and we multiply that times the 100,000 people in Paris, you end up with 128,100,000 hours worth of candle burning. That is incredible. And then if you stop and figure out that each person, all those candles burn up about a half a pound of wax every night, you end up with 64 million pounds of candles just in 6 months in Paris. Well, my goodness gracious. If you translate that, that's about 32,000 tons. If you put all those candles together into one big lump, they'd probably be a lump as big as that house, and that house, and that house. Where do we get all that wax? Where do we get all that tallow? And you know what? Not from your ears. No, it doesn't come out of your ears. Ew. But you know what? Just think of what the solution is. If everybody went to bed when the sun went down and got up when the sun came up, we wouldn't have to burn any candles. And we'd save all those big lumps of candles. Well, if we're going to do that, I think that I am a wise enough man, Benjamin Franklin, to say that all the people in Paris ought to do that. So here's what I propose. This is in my letter. We have to write some laws so that people will save energy. And we have to get up when the sun comes up, and we have to go to sleep when the sun goes down. That's going to be our laws. First, let's put a tax on every single one of those shutters that keeps the sun out, because that keeps people from getting up. So we'll start with a tax on the shutters. And I think the second thing we're going to do is we're going to use the police to patrol the wax shops so that they don't sell anybody more than a half a pound of wax every month. And what's really great about right now is we've got computers, we can really keep track of all those people. And so nobody can buy more than a half a pound of wax. That'll stop them. And then you know what we can do? Let's have guards, let's have the police posted out in the roads so that if anybody is up late at night, we'll do something drastic to them. We'll send them home or something like that. Of course, we'll let the surgeons and the police and everybody else still stay out. But everybody else, we're going to make a law so that they have to go home. And then last, let's make a law that every morning, as soon as the sun rises up, let's let all the bells in all the churches start ringing and wake people up. And if that's not good enough, let's get some cannons out there and let's fire some cannons off. That'll wake them up. Boy, we're gonna get these people to open their eyes because it's the best thing for them, and it's gonna save us energy. And since I'm Benjamin Franklin, I think that, and I'm known as a very wise man, I think that these laws and these taxes are a very good idea, and I think that everyone should agree with my proposal. Don't you? No? What's wrong with my ideas? Yes. Pardon me? Don't you think everybody should do exactly the same thing, though? No? What is this? Are you asking for a little independence? Independence? Oh my goodness gracious. What I like about this is kind of your final test today. When I put this idea out, I wanted to know if you had the courage to speak back to someone that was supposed to be very wise and speak back to someone when you knew that what they were saying and what they were doing was the wrong thing to do. And you've learned about that, haven't you? So I think that you guys have the right amount of courage now And I want you to hold on to that courage, because that's that courage that makes it important and makes it able for you to write letters to the editor and to tell people when they're not doing things the right way according to the principles of our Constitution and Declaration of Independence. So remember that. And oh, by the way, I actually did write that letter to the editor, but at the very bottom of it, I made sure everybody understood that all I was trying to do was get people to start thinking. And it really was a joke. So thank you very much for all the things that you've learned these last couple of days. Remember to hold on to your courage. Thank you. All right, let's see, who else needs to come up here?